Hi, my name is Marcus Harkis. I'm with the Alliance for Metropolitan Stability. I'm the coalition organizer for Higher Minnesota. This is my first session lineup, and I enjoyed it. One thing that I'm concerned about is the job creation. The governor and the legislature say that job creation is their top priority. Well, this past summer, the Economic Policy Institute in Washington, D.C. ranked the Twin Cities as having the worst economic disparities by race in the nation. That's not a list that we want to top. And so I asked one of the Republican leaders today if their caucus, if the majority will apply a racial equity lens when they analyze the budget to decide on cuts, so that they can try to reduce or avoid unintended consequences of increasing the racial disparities. So that's what I'm concerned about. And I hope that when they talk about jobs that they'll include equity in the discussion. We'd love to see some targeted job creation.
Hello, my name is Taketh, pecans, and I am from the Commission of Deaf and Hard of Hearing and Deaf-Blind Minnesotans. One of our number one priorities for this current legislation session is we want to maintain all of our current programs that allow us to help ourselves. We want to be able to improve. For example, we want to continue having communication access, communication services, whether that's sign language interpreter, the assistive hearing programs. And also we would like to have fully functioning citizens. We want them to be able to get an education, have them access to employment, funds, and also to be able to pay our taxes. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Sarah Klein. I'm the Executive Director of Joyce Bilingual Preschool in South Minneapolis. And this morning's legislative lineup was really interesting in hearing different perspectives about particularly the budget deficit that we're facing as a state. And I really think that it's important that we come up with new and innovative ways to address the problem. And it can't be just in budget cuts, but we have to look at new ways of generating revenue for the state and for very many important programs that are supporting citizens across the state. For us as a bilingual preschool, we're very interested in the upcoming issues around quality rating and standards for early learning. And one of the things that we want to be sure of is that they're addressing the needs of the immigrant community that we serve, and that standards and ratings are responsive culturally and linguistically to not only Latinos in our preschool, but just across the metro area in particular, where there are lots of young children who are coming from immigrant families.
I'm Rick Cardenas, and I'm a co-director at Advocating Change Together, ACT, and hearing them talk today, it sounds like we really have to do a lot of work to assure that persons with developmental disabilities and other disabilities are able to not lose their fair share, but to gain their fair share of the budget, be a part of the budget that comes through. We're going to be speaking with the governor, we're going to be speaking with our legislators, and we're actually helping people to understand what it means if we lose those funds. Self-advocacy is an important thing for many persons with developmental disability, and that's a part of the program that we direct, and we have to assure that individuals with developmental disabilities are going to continue to be a part of the community and not, again, be positioned in such a way that they do not participate in the benefits of this society, despite the fact that we are going to have such a large shortfall. We just want to be a part of the whole thing. Advocating Change Together. We'll be up here on the 25th of January, participating with the Day at the Capitol for Persons with Disabilities, and that's going to be a great time. We're going to introduce our legislators to the issues that we'll all be bringing forward.
Hi, my name is Josh Winters. I'm the Executive Director of the Minnesota Public Interest Research Group. And this legislative session, we have three major priorities. The first is to make sure we don't see cuts to higher education, particularly the state grant program and the University of Minnesota system, but higher education across the board. Make sure we hold steady on our investments in higher education. We'd also really like to make sure we see some chemical policy reform, making sure that we do the next part of phasing out toxins in children's products, making sure that's done across the board. And lastly, making sure we have better transit choices in the metropolitan area and prevent cuts to transit. So it's a heavy lift, and we understand there's major challenges, but we do hope that we can at least stave off some of the worst cuts that would severely impact both young students in higher education, but also those who are transit dependent.